Hello and welcome. Tampa Bay Buccaneers just lost to the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football. Raise your hand if you had fun watching that game. I'm a patient guy. Ask anybody. I am patient. But Dave Canales, who I really was high on, off-season I was high on him. Then, first couple games of the season, I felt like got off to a rip-roaring start, and I was high on him then. He's starting to lose me a little bit. And there's a couple things I could talk about as to why. I could spend a lot of time talking about the running, the consistency of the runs, and also just like how they're playing out, first down runs, all these things. I want to focus in on something, though, really specific. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is... we could go back and forth on who's the best player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You could throw out Levante David, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs. Mike Evans is on the short list, but Mike Evans is undoubtedly the best skill position player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' offense. He's the guy, okay? And there's not a lot of teams that have a guy as good as Mike Evans out wide. Now, all those teams who do have a guy who's in the tier or the category, the class, whatever you want to call it, of Mike Evans, they find umpteen ways to get him the ball, right? A.J. Brown on the Eagles. Stephon Diggs on the Bills. We just saw it tonight. And Stephon Diggs on the Bills is an excellent, excellent example. Because Stephon Diggs did not have a good day. He couldn't get open down the field. He was kind of locked up. He had 9 catches for, I think, 70-something yards. So not that productive of a day. Didn't find the end zone. Not a productive day. But his team kept feeding him. They kept throwing him underneath passes, threw him some screens, RPOs, found ways to put the ball in his hands because he's your best player. You never know. Get him the ball, maybe he makes a play. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are far too content to just let these games go by. And Mike Evans gets 3 catches, 5 catches, 4 targets. I don't understand it. I understand the fact that people may double team your best player. I also understand that that's not an excuse. Because if every number one receiver was able to just be double teamed and automatically exiled from the game, then every team, no number one receiver would ever catch a pass because every team would just double team the other team's best guy. And then boom, he's done, out of the game. Don't need to worry about him anymore. Good offenses, good strategists, good schemes, get their guys open. Even when it's not ideal. Yes, the number one receiver on most teams can beat one-on-one man coverage. Okay, great. When it's not one-on-one man coverage, we need ways to get certain people the ball. That's how offenses are built. You have to have plays, and I referenced this in a video last week. You gotta have it plays for your best players. Mike Evans is your best player. He's supposed to be your best player, and he is your best player. You gotta have it plays for the man that get him open no matter the down and distance, no matter the situation. Okay? 2nd and 10, double covered. What can we hit Mike Evans on right now? 3rd and 5, double covered, man, or man underneath with zone over the top, or zone across the board. Where can we find Mike Evans on this play? How can we get him open? Can we get him open in the middle of the field? Can we get him open down the seam? Can we get a honey hole shot on the sideline? Can we take it deep to Mike? Can we get him something on some sort of a crosser? Why that is not a consistent theme and a consistent thought process. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's something that's been an issue for a long time, right? Long tenured watchers of this team. I mean, circa the 2018 Tampa Bay Buccaneers struggling to get Mike Evans the ball against the Saints. This was Jameis Winston couldn't get Mike Evans the ball against the Saints, and it was a discussion then. Dirk Cutter talking about how Mike Evans, well, he's getting double teamed. And there is no excuse other than your own lack of creativity for not finding ways to get your best player the ball. The Bills just did it. Stephon Diggs, they showed you how to do it. Stephon Diggs and Mike Evans are not the same type of receiver. Sure, they're different styles of receiver. That doesn't mean there isn't ways to let Mike Evans impact the game without having him just go deep down the field, and then you throw him a deep ball, maybe gets pass interference, maybe gets a touchdown, maybe get a big play. There's other ways to have Mike Evans impact the game. He's capable of other things. It's just a little... It feels like a blindness to something so simple. Sometimes football is really hard. Sometimes it's really simple, and people overcomplicate it. Your best players got to touch the ball. Mike Evans is your best player. You got to let him touch the ball. You can't have a game where you knew going into this game, you got to score points. Bill's going to score points. Okay? You got to score points. And you were trailing the whole game. And Mike Evans comes away with 3 catches. That's incorrect. That's not proper. That's not good footballing. That's not how it's supposed to look.